Hello everyone. So this is Amari, and nothing too wild of a deck list here. Today it's a bit Schirrú. So I've been sort of trying different things with scoia'tael, thinking like I'm not sure what's going to be best. Tried Harmony, and it was kind of as I expected. The call of Harmony into what's a Brocklon was kind of what was making Harmony so strong before, and like it's not weak by any means, but I just don't think it's the best deck for scoia'tael right now. And I've also tried Nature's Gift, and Nature's Gift is like really fun. It's just kind of not the decks I typically enjoy playing. I'm not a big fan of point slam kind of decks. Where you're trying to get like Hammer Dryad super tall. I prefer more control oriented ones that sort of force your opponent into proactivity. Um, so I definitely liked the idea of going back to Schirrú, and after trying it, I think it's in a really good spot. I've just finished my placements, and I would have liked to have got a little higher with this deck. I hit a couple of awkward games when I was trying to get it going at the start, but I mean, I managed to get 2 450 with this list with my placements. Not too bad considering a bit of a bad start. And really not much has changed in terms of the list. I think in general it's the same idea as before, where you have a core set of cards um, that you always run. In fact, I'll make a a new list, and it's probably best to do it like this. So you're always running an Aeromancy. You are always running a Forest Protector, and you're always running a Novigradian Justice, and you also want Karathi. You obviously need Schirrú. That's it from 9s. For 8s, you always need a Council and a Fauve. And then from 7s, you're always running a Dunker and a Gord. None of the bronzes. And then don't actually run any 6s if I remember right. Yep, not running those. And then you want 2 rebukes, 2 circles, like always. And I think now volunteers are an auto include as well because of the buff to them. It feels really good. Adds to the consistency, being able to thin your deck as well. So I think they're definitely an auto include at the moment. And then in the 4 slot, I think you're always running a combination of either like 1 caress, 2 temperings, or 2 caresses, 1 tempering. I personally prefer 2 temperings, 1 caress. And I think most of the time you probably want to run a squirrel, kind of meta dependent. And you definitely want a miner, I reckon. So then it comes down to what are the other 6 cards to fill in, and most of them need to be units. So there's a few approaches some people take. Like some people like thin out cards like an Aeromancy and Karathi and go like a diversion route, but I personally don't think that's very good. I don't think that's the way you want to be playing it. You can go the version which runs you run Brocklon Sentinels so that you're getting the death blow, but personally I prefer using your leader more just for that damage to try and line up a Schirrú rather than trying to get the death blow with it. And the direction I tend to like, and which a lot of people go, is the Skags route. So you run 2 agitators and you run Sheldon Skags. And I used to feel really, really bad playing this because when you get Skags in your hand, like round 1, perfect. It gets buffed by Dunker, buffed by your Circle of Lives, buffed by Agitator. But if you miss Skags, it feels terrible because these agitators are really lacking sort of what to target. Like you can maybe get on a miner and like that's okay, or you can get it onto Gord, which is like uninteractable point, which is like really good. But yeah, they're kind of your only options. But now with volunteers, there have been games where volunteer's been in hand, it's been buffed by agitator and dunker and things like that, and it just makes your justice represent so many points. I did actually have a game where one of the volunteers got up to 14 points. So then that meant that Novigradian Justice represent 23 points when it got played, because obviously you're pulling out volunteers and then it pulls the other one and spawns a 5, so you end up with 23 points on the board, which actually represented more points than my Gord, which is just ridiculous. So I think now that you're running volunteers, I think the Skags route feels a lot more consistent, because yeah, sure, you're going to miss it in some games, but if you miss it, you have kind of a plan B there. So now you need 3 more cards, 2 more units, 19 provisions. So I tend to run a squirrel because at the moment being able to get rid of like an AA is really good. Double ball up exists, and there's a lot of echo cards, so like an Aeromancy, Blood Eagle, all that sort of stuff that I really like running just one of on the squirrel, and like running a miner. And then what have I missed at the top end? Missed something at the top end, I think. Oh no, and I like running Garrett Professional. So you could run, I know some people run like Becca's Rock Slide, for example, but I feel like Geralt, because of your leader ability, you're always able to line units up to be like a multiple of 3. So Geralt kind of represents another piece of like tall removal, because it doesn't matter how tall a unit is, if you can get its power to a unit to a multiple of 3, Geralt kills it instantly. So I really, really like Geralt in the deck. And that kind of rounds out. I feel like it's very strong at the moment, and literally something as small as the change to volunteers makes the list a lot stronger. So I'll run a couple of games. You can sort of see how it goes. One thing I would advise, and it probably sounds like quite like arrogant, I guess, but it's not how I mean it. It's just kind of a forewarning that this deck is quite like skill intensive. There are plenty of decks out there that if you feel like you're sort of not as good at the game, can sort of easily carry you. So like a lot of like Skellige decks at the moment, like Warrior Skellige, and so like Shield Wall, monsters to an extent, are kind of, you just play the cards and it kind of does all the work for you, and what you do is very obvious. With Schirrú, it feels more, there's a lot more like decision making involved. You need to really be thinking about, do I use this piece of removal here? Do I need to save it for later? Is this the right time to Schirrú? Do I use a leader ping? Do I not? What am I buffing? Is it safe for me to play this? And there's a lot of sort of thought processes involved that you don't really get with other decks. So it's just something to keep in mind, that certainly your first few games playing this, you are probably going to lose, because it definitely takes some getting used to this idea of like playing very reactively, and instead of looking at removing units, sometimes it's better to save your removal on it and wait for it to line up for a Schirrú. So if something like Endrega Lava comes down, for example, you may have like, it may be 3 power 2 armor, and you may think, oh, perfect for a rebuke. Sometimes it's better to just let it tick away up to 5 and then catch it in the Schirrú when you're killing other things. So you do have to sort of keep these sort of things in mind when you're playing the deck. There's definitely a lot of thought has to go into playing it. So yeah, just a bit of a warning going into it. You're gonna have some painful early games. But I'll run a couple of games, and you can see me that I'll make a few mistakes, maybe learn a thing or two from it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Like, this is literally my 3rd Monsters game in a row, and I still can't decide if it's a good matchup or not. I think it's really draw dependent, and these draws are not too great, so we don't want that. Don't want Schirrú, and we don't want Gord. Okay, so I'm going to an Aero for Dunker here. Agitator's really awkward. I mean, Squirrel's alright if he plays Ardgate. May even be a 7 then pass, we'll have to see. Said it before, and I'll say it again, this is super scary if they're actually running Mana Core, but gotta live life dangerously. See what I mean? Never punished. Never in my life have I been punished. And in response to that, we'll probably circle. Let's try and slow this down a little bit. I think Protector needs to be the big boy. I'm kind of a big fan of hand buff. I'd really like to see like Invigorate actually be decent, because I do like the concept of it. Alright, so I maybe just use Dunker's Charge and a Rebuke here. I think that's probably best. I mean, it obviously turns off Dunker's hand buffing, but got a couple of points out of it. We killed it again. The job done. Phantom. I think this needs a ping and a rebuke. Why not a lot of gold? I know, like, obviously we played Dunker, but Dunker is a round 1 card. Although it's gold. It's kind of one of those gold stats. Holy shit, we're passing. I am not dealing with that. Take the round. Take the round. I'm not dealing with a Weaver-S incantation.
Thank you. That was very kind.
I think I see this quite a few times. People do shit like this, and it's like, this is played for nothing. Literally played for 5 points, and it was 10 provisions. Not good. Not good. Alright, so Squirrel's a good dry pass card. So we don't want Volunteer. Don't want Volunteer. I don't mind having Gord. I mean, it means we can agitate her at least. Okay. Been considering running a Call the Forest as well, because I feel like a lot of the time I want a 4-power Schirrú. Like, certainly against... So... Carryover stuff. Could Justice for an Agitator. Because Minor unfortunately doesn't do it. Squirrel doesn't do it. I think we need to Anera though. Just what for? Yeah, I think it has to be volunteers. It thins our deck. Obviously it makes Justice a little worse, but it's the cleanest way to do it. Like, none of the rest of this kind of does it, so just need to be careful that we draw into the right stuff now. Because we're only really looking for maybe Justice. I think that's about it, to be honest. We don't want Schirrú, because we want Schirrú to be a little taller. Right, so we need to get rid of a Minor, because if we draw into Justice... Oh no, no we don't. No we don't. Maybe a Squirrel. Because Osrul's a little scary. Osrul is a little scary. Tempering could be okay. Alright. Not ideal, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We have a fair bit of removal. I think we're probably going to play the slow game. Oh, we don't have last save. I don't think we care all that much. Good circle target. I mean, it's whether we want to circle this or wait until they're in Schirrú range. I think the greedy play is to wait for a good Schirrú. I like playing greedy. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. We can buff Squirrel up to like a 6, buff the Miner up to a 9, maybe set up for like a 4 power Schirrú. Looking like it. Oh, it's this deck, isn't it? Great. Perfect. Right, so we need to kill that. It's that spam the board with wands. Fun. Luckily we can deal with this. Sort of. Now I'm trying to remember what we need to do next. Geralt to kill that. He'll play another one, then yeah.
Last words.
Yeah, we basically can't let these stick on the board. Because then things get painful. Things get very painful. Because I play like Glusty Warp and things like that, so. So, good Schirrú. Because we can ping down our Schirrú. Get that down to 4. So all 4s. So good. Because their deck kind of works off this, like, spam the board, but like Glusty Warp and shit like that. Yeah, so I'm assuming that was the card that triggers all your friendly death rolls. Yeah, Ritual Sacrifice. So we can start boosting these up so they're not eaten by Glusty Warp. And we probably just get there. Because we can like Forest Protector to buff these. Use like a Circle of Life to kill stuff. It's all fun. We usually run like a Jotun. I've got a cat who wants to. Come on then. Come on. Yes, we're getting it done, Prince. Yes, we are. We're getting it done. That might be getting a Rathed. But it's more important we buff these. It's a really like counterintuitive way to play, but we're looking to Glusty Warp, and so that kind of plays for 9.
Not shabby at all.
Yeah, so like this Glusty, we have 12 points instead of him getting 6. So I played for like 18. Yeah, wins the game. Weird matchup, but we got there, Prince. We did it. Yes, we did it. It's monsters again. Also, on that last video, I was incredibly stupid and forgot to move my camera over to the other side, so the scoreboard was a bit covered. So, yeah, my apologies. I hope it wasn't too distracting. That's nice to find. Very nice to find. Just giving me circle food. It's whether I'm Schirrú in. Because like circle onto that is pretty nice. But I think we're in for a 5 for Schirrú. It's probably the way we're gonna go this round. Because then we'll an era for like a dunker and just let it stack up. Because none of the targets are particularly bad. I mean, if they're gonna get this greedy, then yeah, when they're getting this greedy, like we have to play for the Schirrú line. Wait for these to get up to 5. Which means Schirrú's probably getting like at least 20 points. But we'll have to see. Selection. Yeah. Unitless then. I don't mind playing Ferv into maybe a Tempering or like a Caress. I mean, I guess I could kill one of these because we're a bit lacking on what to do. Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. There could be a dive coming, which wouldn't be ideal. But if there is a dive, it means we get another circle onto this. Okay, so it was a mana core. Yeah. Not ideal, but yeah, we'll live. And we can curve into... Oh, we can probably just temper in. We don't want to be committing too much here. Because the overall game plan is I want to get Schirrú going. Okay, we're nearly there. Nearly there. Just need to survive a little longer. I mean, we could do it at 4. I think it might have to be at 4. We can do 1. So we're going to need to ping our own Schirrú. And then 2 pings. I think it's Schirrú now anyway.
No mercy.
Because I expect to pass next turn. So we can hit that down. And then we can just put a hit into that. And most importantly, it puts us ahead on even, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Yeah. Like, we're still ahead on even, so we can just deny dominance and just chill a little bit. I mean, Skags is like 12 points. A death wish from your death. Yeah. Death laugh. I mean, this is a really good pass. Yeah, this is like an insanely good pass, right? Like, all leader charges used, Goliath's out, Death Laugh's out, Manticore's out, Drive Engines are out. Like, Geralt hasn't got a super good target. Can play for like 9, puts us at 21. I mean, we could take the round. Like, it's a really good pass, but then I think we just get bled within an inch of our lives. No, I think it's a pass. They've expended a lot. We have an era for like Karathi if they play Haunt. We still have like Novigradian Justice. We still got Agitators to get our Skags up even taller. So yeah, I think we're in a fine spot, but we don't have to worry too much. Cool. Probably nothing I really want to get rid of. Maybe Goliath would have to go, but I think we're okay for now. Okay.
Get out, you baldy-faced baby.
I want to play this just to A, thin the deck, and B, like, kind of, if the planning a bleed, it slows this down like so much. Also, if it's a Bargeist that consumes this, then Geralt onto it is just absolutely insane. Maruna, not doing a whole lot. I guess we'll get rid of the biggest thing if they're running Oswald. So the reason I'm like letting this go off is no doubt he's got an Endrega warrior that he's going to put in here, which is going to go to 12, and 12 is a multiple of 3. This is what I mean, like, too predictable, too predictable. I mean, I'm sure that seemed like it was going to get him there, but that's just, it's not happening. It's not happening. We probably just play Skags this round if they push any further, but I think we always get there. Yeah. Yeah, it's Skags. Skags on that. I mean, we could Karathi it, but we could Forest Protector for a circle. I actually really like that. Really, really like that play. I mean, I would have preferred it on the Skags, but yeah, I think that's really, really nice. I think most of the time we get there. Like 16 points on Gord, and whatever specials we get will just buff this even higher, because we've basically got a lot of specials to come. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for agitators. But we don't even want minor. Karathi's amazing. Is there anything we don't want? No, I mean, I think we want everything.
We'll pay men back for their persecution.
If this lives, then it gets temperinged. If not, because we have double last say, we can play Gord and then use tempering last on it if we need to. So dealing 5, yeah. So we kill Oberon. That's fine.
Bring me fist take. Don't leave me be.
I mean, we do have the option to temper in that, which I think we maybe do. Yeah, I think we always temper in that. Because that's just now again. We deny dominance. The Frost is going to hit the armor. We can still kill Oberon next turn if we want to, but we have access to it. If they've got Haunt, they have to play it now. Or they don't get full value out, which we have Karathi for. Fine. Yeah, so we can play Skags. Kill that. 16-point play, pretty good. Just realised we don't have double last hit, do we? I'm making it up. So what's that last card? Could be an Osroll. Could be an Osroll. I think just to be safe, we play Gord. And then whatever it is, we can Karathi it. Yeah. Cool. It looks like it's been a couple of Monsters games.